Welcome, travelers, to this explainer of the epic chronicles. Pull your stools a little closer to the hearth, grab a warm drink, because tonight we're spinning a tale of a battered fellowship standing literally at the fiery edge of the world. It's the fall of the Iron Hand, a tale of Ash Willow. I'm your guide through these legends, and we're going to unpack a massive, pivotal chapter in their fight against the apocalypse. This isn't just your standard swords and sorcery story, okay? This is a masterclass in survival against absolutely impossible odds.
So, imagine the scene. You've got 5 heroes, huddled together in the soot-stained shadows of an ash willow alleyway. The heat of this volcanic city it's a physical weight on them. They're bleeding, they're gasping for air. They literally just survived this brutal, totally silent ambush by 5 assassins in a stone garden. Legend tells us that Zora, the high elf sorcerer, was nearly cut down by a crossbow bolt right in the opening seconds. No joke, Aaron, the human ranger, lost a whole third of his strength in the blink of an eye. But amidst the cooling blood of their enemies, they managed to pull off a critical victory. They recovered Howl the Bard's prophetic ring.
Now you might be wondering, why didn't they just retreat to their hideout to heal up? Well, the chronicles reveal they simply couldn't rest. The apocalyptic pressures were just mounting way too fast. Up in Dawnmere, the magical portals were actively failing, threatening to trap thousands of innocent people. On top of that, the greater demon Gormak's corruption was accelerating like wildfire across the globe. Our fellowship had just suffered these terrifying, bone-chilling visions of Gormak's 4 generals tearing the world apart, and now, with the prophetic ring finally reclaimed, they knew the end-of-days clock was ticking faster than ever. So, pushed by these unseen forces, they had to move toward the terrifying Iron Crown Fortress, a stronghold suspended directly over a lake of bubbling lava.
Their desperate journey was basically mapped in shadows. Relying on a clandestine map of hidden routes they scored from the local Thieves Guild, they smartly bypassed the heavily guarded main bridge. They started moving right at twilight, picking this incredibly treacherous path along the eastern volcanic ledges. By nightfall, they were sneaking up into the high balconies. Fast forward to midnight, and they're silently clearing out the northern halls before finally breaching the fiery heart of the pirate fortress right at the witching hour.
Which brings us to their first massive hurdle, the silent volcanic ascent, scaling the brutal lava cliffs of Ash Willow.
Let me tell you, climbing a volcano where a single slip means a sheer drop into bubbling lava is no joke. The Fellowship had to move with this quiet, desperate precision. No loud, clanking metal pittons here. Bip, the nimble halfling rogue, took point, jamming silent chalks into the volcanic rock. Welsies, the heavily armored dwarven paladin, who, let's be honest, usually rings like a bag of bells, somehow served as the sturdy anchor for the line. Ateminus, the warlock, and Aaron shimmied up, while Zora carefully pulled the wedges out from the back to leave absolutely no trace. It was a flawless system. And get this, along the way, they stumbled upon a hidden shrine to the dwarven god Hanseath. Ateminus actually sacrificed a draft of psychedelic fey liquor, which earned them the god's favor. He got fire immunity, and the rest got fire resistance. And thank the gods they did, because the mountain immediately started testing them with bursting bubbles of molten rock.
So they make it up, and that takes us right into the secrets of the Iron Crown itself as they start infiltrating the fortress halls.
Now, breaching those upper balconies, they had to navigate this dark stone labyrinth, constantly dodging the boisterous sounds of pirate revelry echoing up from the south. And they didn't just kick the doors down like amateurs. Oh no. Bip cleverly secured their flank by locking the southern dining hall doors, basically trapping all the drunken pirates inside. Then, moving north, Actinemus weaves this brilliant illusion of gold coins at a hallway corner. The exact second a sentry bends down to snatch up the phantom wealth, bam! Bip strikes from the shadows with his dagger, and Aaron lets an arrow fly from his oath bow. Surgical, totally silent, and it perfectly secured their path to a secret stairwell hidden behind a western wall.
But heading down those stairs brings us to the real meat of the story, the clash of iron, right inside the ritual chamber.
The true test was waiting for them at the bottom, a chamber of pure nightmares, lit by a sphere of perpetual flame. The heroes just erupted into the room and absolutely dismantled the hand's 4 elite generals. Actinemus instantly spots the Forge Channeler, realizes the magic user is a total glass cannon, and hexes him, obliterating the guy with eldritch blasts. Meanwhile, Aaron pulls an actual giant rat out of his magical bag of tricks to sow absolute chaos, which gives Bip the perfect opening to slip into the shadows and assassinate the Ashen Blade. Then, hitting them with a massive concussive pulse of magic, Actinemus shoves both the Magma Brute and the Cinder Archer right off the ledges into the molten lava below. It was just this absolute masterpiece of elemental fury.
While all that is happening, Welsies charges straight at the Goliath commander, the Iron Hand himself. Wellesley's axe, literally named C-3PO, is glowing with divine wrath, and he is just trading these massive, bone-shattering blows with the giant. Aaron is dancing through all this obscuring steam, delivering punishing shots, and finally, a brilliant, crackling strike from Zora's lightning brings the gargantuan Goliath crashing down into a heap of shattered iron. But travelers, listen to me. This hard-fought victory, it was a terrifying lie.
Yeah, because as the Goliath fell, his armor didn't just break, it completely shattered outward. His swaying body swelled up and violently warped, transforming from a mortal man into this towering, horrifying construct of demonic purple energy. He had just become a direct, physical vessel for the greater demon, Gormak. The beast rakes the air with these massive claws and lets out a tectonic roar that promises absolute doom, just screaming, "You will die now!" And things went from bad to worse. The very architecture of the ritual chamber turned hostile. These ancient statues started pulsing with a rhythmic, searing heat, literally drawing thermal energy straight from the lava to try and burn the intruders alive. The beast is pulling off legendary actions, dragging Aaron and Welsis right to the very lip of the bubbling lava pit. It's pure chaos.
So, how do you slay a demon when the darkness swallows your sight? Because desperate times call for desperate measures, and with the team facing total annihilation, Atenimus made a drastic choice. He cast a thick shroud of magical darkness, swallowing the entire chamber in an abyssal void. Suddenly, our battered heroes had to fight for their lives using nothing but sound and pure instinct, teetering on the edge of a lava pit. Wellesley is using the cover to frantically pray and heal his broken body, while Aaron is just firing blind arrows straight into the pitch black.
And that leads us to the climax, the terminal burst, a final, desperate gamble in the dark.
From within that abyssal void, the denouement of our tale arrives with a crack of deafening thunder. In the absolute gloom, it was Zora who ended it. Caught in a violent surge of wild magic, her whole body trembling with arcane overload, she stared blindly into the dark void and just unleashed a maximized lightning bolt. And it struck true. The roar of the thunder was deafening as it hit the purple construct, completely shattering the demonic vessel in a terminal blast of pure purple force.
But man, the catastrophic backlash was immediate. The physical and psychic explosion of the demon's death nearly broke the Fellowship entirely. Wellesley's armor was scorched black, bringing him to the very brink of death. Aaron was left panting, hands on his knees, running on maybe 10% of his normal strength. And Zora, poor Zora, took the absolute brunt of the blast. She was knocked completely unconscious, her life's breath fading as her friends desperately scrambled in the pitch dark to stabilize her.
And there was zero time to celebrate. An explosion like that, it was guaranteed to draw a massive swarm of angry pirates down from the halls above. With basically no strength left to fight, the warlock Atenimus unleashed one final, horrific distraction. He actually summoned a greater demon right into the center of the fortress. Just wow. As this abyssal horror started rampaging through the pirate ranks, the broken heroes grabbed their dying friends, dragged them back into the shadows, and limped across the treacherous lava ledges to escape.
So, as they hide out there in the ashes, travelers, we are left to wonder. The hand of Gormak is gone, yes, but the Fellowship is broken and bleeding in the dark. As the gate of the bound continues to rend and the Watcher's eye gazes down upon them, you have to ask, have they merely traded one doom for another? The end of days is still beckoning, my friends. What impossible choices are they going to be forced to make next?